Welcome to this explainer. Okay, so you set up a new tank, and maybe things aren't looking so great. The water's getting a little murky, and you think, hey, I'll just drop a cleaner shrimp in there. It's gonna magically fix my water quality, right? It really does sound like the ultimate biological shortcut. But today, we are busting that myth wide open.
So let me ask you right out of the gate. Can a little shrimp actually fix a dirty, uncycled tank? It's a massive question that so many beginners face, mostly because it's super easy to mistakenly view these incredible little animals as, like, miracle janitors that can survive absolutely anything. Well, the hard truth? No, absolutely not. Actually, it might make things a whole lot worse. See, if you drop a shrimp into a brand new tank where fish are already struggling or even dying, you aren't adding a janitor. You're literally just adding more waste to an already overwhelmed system. And sadly, you're pretty much sealing that poor shrimp's fate. A shrimp simply cannot rescue unsafe water, period.
Section 1. The Saltwater Divide. True cleaners versus cleanup crews.
Okay, let's dive into this. The first massive hurdle we need to clear up is this dangerously confusing store label of cleaner shrimp. We've got to separate the species here. On one side, we have true cleaner shrimp. Think of the scarlet skunk cleaner, Jacques from Finding Nemo. These are strictly saltwater animals. They literally pick parasites and dead tissue right off a fish. Now on the flip side, we have freshwater cleanup shrimp, like your Amano, cherry, or go shrimp. These guys, they don't clean fish at all. Their main job is grazing on algae and biofilm. So here is the absolute unbreakable rule. A scarlet skunk will instantly die in freshwater, and an Amano cannot survive a single minute in a marine tank. You absolutely have to buy the animal that matches your specific water type.
Section 2. Surviving the nitrogen cycle, the biological bottleneck.
All right, so to really understand why your shrimp isn't a microscopic sewage plant, we need to talk about nitrification. This is the invisible biological bottleneck of the hobby. Basically, fish waste and rotting food create ammonia, which is incredibly toxic. Over time, beneficial filter bacteria grow in your tank and change that toxic ammonia into nitrite, which, heads up, is also toxic, and then finally into a much less harmful substance called nitrate. A working biological filter absolutely must process these poisons before any shrimp can be safely introduced. Remember, shrimp are just crumb pickers. So what does this all mean for you? It boils down to this golden number right here, 0. 0 parts per million. Both ammonia and nitrite must read absolutely 0 on a liquid test kit before you even think about buying a shrimp. Sudden changes in water chemistry will totally disrupt their breathing and their molting. Guesswork just won't cut it here. You need the hard, undeniable proof of a liquid test kit.
Now, what if you already brought fish home before your tank was fully cycled? Hey, it happens, don't panic. But whatever you do not buy a shrimp yet. Instead, follow this concrete fish-in cycling plan. First, you've got to test for ammonia and nitrite every single day. If either one of those hits 0.25 ppm, immediately do a 25 to 50% water change. And don't forget to condition that new tap water. Now, it's going to take about 4 to 8 weeks to grow that vital bacteria. And step 4, that is the golden rule. Shrimp are always added last, and only after you've had 7 totally stable days of 0 ammonia and 0 nitrite.
Section 3. Proper setup and feeding, making your shrimp thrive.
Now that our water is perfectly safe, let's talk about the actual hardware and environmental needs. When you compare these setups, it's super clear why freshwater is a much more forgiving starting point. For instance, a freshwater Amano shrimp is going to do great in a 10-gallon tank at normal room temperatures, anywhere from 68 to 78 degrees. But a true marine scarlet cleaner, they're a bit more demanding. They need at least 20 gallons, warmer water between 75 and 80 degrees, and incredibly stable salinity. You literally need a calibrated aquarium refractometer to keep that specific gravity dialed in between 1.023 and 1.026. No guessing allowed.
Okay, there's a huge irony here that catches so many people off guard. We usually buy a cleanup crew because we want a completely spotless tank, right? But here's the catch. A completely scrubbed, spotless tank will actually starve your shrimp. They rely on live plants, wood, or smooth rocks to grow biofilm, which they graze on all day. And yeah, they still need real meals too. You've got to offer supplemental feedings, like sinking pellets or blanched zucchini for the freshwater folks, or thawed mysis for the marine ones, 2 to 3 times a week. Just remember to pull out any of those leftovers after 2 hours, so they don't foul up the water.
Section 4. Choosing safe tank mates. Don't feed your fish an expensive snack.
All right, so your water is absolutely perfect. The tank has some healthy biofilm. Temps are dialed in. Awesome. But wait. we have to talk about tank mates. Because trust me, you do not want to go through all this effort just to feed your current fish a very expensive little snack. Peaceful fish can still be predators if their mouths are big enough. Let's rapidly run through this. In freshwater, your shrimp are usually totally safe with tiny companions. Think small Resbaris, peaceful tetras, or autocinclus. But watch out for bettas, cichlids, goldfish, and large barbs. They will absolutely hunt your freshwater shrimp. On the saltwater side, your scarlet cleaners usually do fantastic with small gobies, clownfish, and cardinalfish. But triggerfish, puffers, hawkfish, or large wrasses, huge risk. The takeaway here, never ever impulse buy a fish without researching its adult size first.
Section 5. Safe Buying and Acclimation. The Step-by-Step Arrival.
We are at the final hurdle. You're at the store, you've picked out a healthy shrimp, one with active legs, intact antennae, clear eyes. Now we have to safely introduce it without shocking its system. Look, shrimp react incredibly badly to sudden swings in water chemistry. Following a strict timeline is literally the only way to avoid shock. First up, float the closed bag for 15 minutes just to match the tank temperature. Next, and this is absolutely crucial, spend 45 to 60 minutes using a drip acclimation kit in a separate container to super slowly introduce your tank water. Once they're finally in the tank, keep the lights dim for about 4 hours to help reduce their stress. Oh, and don't offer any food until the next day. Just let them settle in.
Okay, I have to throw in this surprising, kind of funny fact because it causes so much unnecessary heartbreak for beginners. Picture this. You wake up, look in your tank, and see the pale, lifeless ghost of your shrimp sitting on the bottom. Don't panic. Seriously, take a breath. A hollow, pale shell is just a healthy molt. It just means your shrimp is growing. Actually, if you have a freshwater tank, leave that clean shell right in there. The shrimp will totally graze on it to reclaim the calcium. It's like recycling. So, as we wrap up this journey, I really want to leave you with a question to chew on. Is rushing an impulse purchase at the fish store really worth the cost of another unexplained loss? Cleaner shrimp are just fantastic, absolutely fascinating creatures when they're kept in the right environment. But patience, regular testing, and stable water, that is what truly protects everything in this hobby. A shrimp isn't a tool to fix a neglected tank. It's a reward for doing things right.
If you're feeling inspired and you're ready to start your shrimp journey safely and successfully, don't stop here. Head directly over to the TankZen blog today to read their full comprehensive care guides on Amano and sherry shrimp. They have all the step-by-step checklists you could possibly need to make your first shrimp tank an absolute triumph. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and happy tank keeping!